Hello and welcome back to the 18th, if I'm correct, episode of Dark Souls. I'm your host Spirit Beltsholder, and we are in front of the fog wall for Artorias. Now, basically, I have done nothing yet since last episode, so we'll jump right in and see how how I can manage. It's kind of late, and I haven't been playing it all yet, so I might be a bit out of it. But we'll see. At least we got our bloodstains, so whatever happens now happens. Oh dear. I always like fighting with Artorias. But I already explained a lot about that last episode over how I find... Ooh, have to be quite a cool boss to fight. Oh dang. Yep, I am still a bit out of it. I don't think I will be skipping the boss fight so much with Artorias as I have done with Smo and Ornstein. Because unlike with how it was with Smo and Ornstein, Artorias I know I can quite consistently beat and I don't need to go and grind for more equipment or things like that. It's just a matter of getting down his movement patterns again and knowing how to perfectly respond, because I have fought him so often and so often have I been beaten by him, but eventually I got him down and I learned exactly how he moves, when he moves and all that. And the lot still lingers, but especially, what time is it now? It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I wanted to get this one recorded before going to bed at least. So I'm doing this at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm recording Dark Souls episode. And hopefully we'll beat Artorias. Hopefully that doesn't take the entire episode, which I reckon not. I mean, that would be an hour of just me struggling against him. As amusing as that might be for some of you, I would not like that. Alright, so here we go. At moments like these, I kind of wish I had someone to talk to, like you see with the Game Grumps and such. Don't know if any of you watched their playthrough with Bloodborne, but that gives a nice example of why I would like someone to be with me right now. Well, we're at least off to a decent start, alright. Bit late, but that's alright. Can't afford mistakes when he's like that, regrettably. That's kind of the thing and theme that you see back in his battle really well. Like, the boss fight itself doesn't get harder from him buffing himself. It only makes it so that he is less forgiving. Every mistake you make will be punished severely. Oh dang, I thought he would... Oh. Come on, buddy, give me a break. I need to heal up. Okay, good enough. Thank you. Phew. Now, I really like those somersault attacks of his. But the problem with them is I can never tell if he's going to do 2 or 3 of them. Because he tends to end often on 2, but he often ends on 3 as well. And if you assume it to be 2 times, you will be crushed with a 3rd. Sometimes he just does 1 as well, as you just saw, but... Now, a tactic that I actually didn't apply last time, but I noticed just now, is that if you wish, you can also just wear him out. Just wait and don't do any damage, because apparently he doesn't go and renew his buff as long as you don't do damage against him. Actually got a strong attack. I wonder if the Uchi would actually be more suitable for this battle. Oh dang! Ah, that's cruel. I still don't know why that happens. If any of you could explain that, I would be very glad. But I really wonder. Like, that big jump attack is quite definitely his strongest attack. That's quite clear. But most of the time it's also very easy to avoid. And even when I feel I got the timing down perfect, he sometimes still hits me and instantly kills me. It's I don't get it. I don't get it. But again, as long as you just manage to reach your bloodstain every time, it doesn't matter. Just go and run in. And Artorias is luckily one of those bosses that you can easily hold out with for quite a little while before it truly becomes an issue. So, usually it's not all that hard to get back to your bloodstain. And if you get back to your bloodstain, then all's forgiven. It's like you never died. So, I want to try this time with the Uchi and see if it makes any difference, because I've been told that using piercing strikes, like the strong attack of the Uchi is, would be highly effective against him. Thank you. I just wanted my bloodstain, buddy. That does do significant damage. But does it do more damage? It does do more damage. But it's also a slightly slower attack, so I don't know if I should. Yeah, I figured you would. I thought he would do that earlier and I wanted to go and try and interrupt him, but that didn't work out. First time I fought him and actually managed to get far enough that he would use that buff, I was freaking terrified. I did not know what in God's name I was gonna do then, because every single strike just took out so much of my health. Really terrified me to the point that I only dared to wear him down. Oh dang, that was close. He broke through my defense there. And that's never a favorable situation. Alright. But you can see how there are many gaps in both his offense and defense that you can exploit. Oh dang. Alright, come on, buddy. I actually want him to go and renew his buff now. Dang it! Because I'm getting low on health. And if he goes and renews his buff, then... Dang it, that's the perfect moment for me. Dang it, I thought I couldn't block that one, but I had to try. I didn't want to risk dodging. Ah! Whenever he heals, or whenever he buffs, you can just go and heal, but... As you see, you saw last times how he just kept buffing and kept buffing and kept buffing, and this time he only buffed once so far. So I really find it hard to predict whether I should or shouldn't wait for him to buff himself. I'll give it one more try. Maybe even two, I don't know. As I said, I like his fight. Even if I lose, there's something satisfying about being able to perfectly avoid his every move, and yet he every time finds a way to just screw you over regardless. But it doesn't feel unfair, you know? I mean, apart from that big strike where he kills me in one hit, apart from that one, I feel that he is arguably one of the fairest bosses in the game. I mean, if you look, for example, at the Bell Gargoyles, basically the first real boss apart from the Taurus demon you fight. They are with 2, and you aren't informed of that. You go into the boss fight, expect to find a nice one-on-one with that gargoyle, and suddenly the second one comes up and he starts using fire attacks and you die. And kind of feels unfair. I mean, it's not really all that big of a deal. I mean, it's still like, it's Dark Souls, it just does that, you know, but... The thing about Artorias was always... Everything he does is predictable, understandable, comprehensible, and something that you can learn to avoid. But especially with the Battle of Smo and Ornstein, for example, there you are dropped into a fight with 2 guys, and it isn't like it's totally unfair, but it's still a 2v1, and both of them are legitimate as a boss by themselves, I would argue. So it is a bit like fighting 2 bosses at once, and it's again like, it doesn't sit well, you know. Gosh darn it. Alright. I'm not gonna be happy actually. I feel that he is going to screw me over again with something very nasty. Don't know yet how or why. But I feel that he will. Still though. I don't want to jinx it, so I'm not gonna say anything. Ah, dang it. I jinxed it anyway. But it could be a lot worse. Oh dang! No! No, not that third strike. Ah, that third strike. And he still has his buff. Don't do it, Artorias. Don't kill me off yet. Come on, buddy. Okay, there we go. Back up to full health. Ah, dang you. Dang it! Couldn't interrupt him. Still pretty good damage. Oh dear! Against him. Alright, heal up. Thank you, that was actually pretty nice of him. He could have possibly finished me off right there and then. But he's lower than he's been yet today. So... who knows, maybe we get lucky. I would like to see his buff just fading out, dang it! But ah, gosh darn it! My stamina was too low. Heal up. Oh, thank you. Alright. Well, I don't mind it right now. Give me a chance to get back to full health. Now be gentle. Give me a nice opening. Like that. I should indeed just roll away when he does that instead of trying to block it. Throwing that poison muck he does isn't all that threatening or damaging, but that follow-up strike after that can be. He's significantly low, and he... I hope this buff does not kill us outright just now. Just one more hit should be enough. Dang it! I hoped I could cheese him there. No! Don't! Okay, there we go! There we go. Third try of the day. It was the third try, right? Was the fourth? I don't know. But we got him. Artorias is down. And we got his soul as well. Now his soul is a bit unique. I mean, this is the Guardian soul, this is the soul of the Iron Golem, and then this is the soul of Artorias. It looks very different, doesn't it? Soul of Lord Grin's knight Artorias, who was consumed by the Abyss. The legend that Artorias repelled the Abyss only told half of the story. It seems that he was defeated and his honor preserved by some unsung hero who is the true victor over the Abyss. Now, that is quite curious, is it not? It seems that he was defeated and his honor preserved by some unsung hero who is the true victor over the Abyss. That implies that we will be victorious. That's actually quite motivating, isn't it? I mean, just the fact that that item already says that we would be victorious. I'm not sure why I'm walking over here, because that serves no purpose yet. I will show you why it serves no purpose yet. It's kind of nice here though. It's locked. We need to find a key. And to find that key, that takes a little while. So we just go back down and get to the bonfire. Here we have it. The next bonfire. And we can level up. I'm still not sure if I want to actually work my way towards more strength-based weapons. Might be interesting to show you guys. Obviously building dexterity would give us more attack strength. Vitality would give us a bit more health to play around with. I think I'll go for a bit more defensive this time and do a vitality and endurance. Uh-oh. I don't think endurance will be all that important yet. But if we do plan on going towards heavier weapons and more strength-based weapons, then it will be quite convenient to have that. And could we? No. No, we can't yet. It's not too far from it, but we can't yet. That actually we can. It doesn't look like it doesn't look good, but we can do it. We can wear it. Is it actually better? I should actually check that. Sorry for all the menu flipping, but I should check that. It gives me more physical, same lightning, same fire, a little bit less magic. Well, I suppose this one indeed is a bit better then. There we enter the Ulisil township. Oh. And immediately we are attacked from behind. So let's return that favor. Nothing over here. Now, I really do not like this part of the DLC. Not so much because the enemies themselves are so horrible. Not because it's particularly far too hard or something like that. But they throw some really nasty and pleasant stuff at you. That I myself at least would not want to deal with. And that's not so much because of these guys, as I said, but mostly because of the guys over there. And she has backup indeed. As always. I hope that we can... Oh, one hit already kills her. Well, either way, that's a sorceress. And they use a unique kind of magic that is very damaging. It is truly far too powerful for their own good. I really wish that they would be a bit more gentle in that respect. But I suppose it can't be helped. And if that was everything, then, well, could be worse, right? But the way they manage it is quite appalling. Now there are some secrets in this area. Like over here. Nice obfuscated little path. Oh, bloated head. That's actually a very rare drop. Don't believe it's a very useful drop either. No. The head of an Ulisil resident whose humanity went wild after being devoured by the Dark of Manus, Father of the Abyss. So that kind of implies already who the Great Bad Wolf is going to be, the big boss of this game, or this DLC rather. Manus. The bloated head is fissured to cracks lined with innumerable tiny red eyeballs, with a heart outside and mucus filled inside. No sane person could ever wear it. Har 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 har. Yeah, but it's quite ugly. You can also get the one from the casters, which I would argue is even more disgusting. One of those guys. You can hear them already inside of the building, casting spells and laughing. Let there be light. Yes, that is actually quite a unique little thingy here. Because as you can see, the icon marks that this is one that is programmed in. So this message is always here. And it actually refers to something quite particular you need to do. And what you need to do is have an object or spell that creates light. Now we already had, luckily, the skull lantern. Wait, that's not where it was, right? No, here. But otherwise, we'd have to use a spell with magic, or we'd have to use a bug, sunlight bug. Now this is actually quite an important one to find, really. You really want to manage to get this one, so be sure to either have a little bit of sorcery skills to cast a light, or to have a skull torch or something like that. Because that silver pendant you really want. It is a very unique item in this game, really. I don't think we need a white soapstone, actually. We haven't used it once. It's a bit of a shame. Yeah. But what this does, it is a consumable item, basically, that does not get used up. It really is not logical in that principle, is it? But this is what it does. And does it give us a buff or anything? So let's go over and see. And it says silver pendant reflects dark. Silver pendant engraved with the crest of Artorias, one of the ancient treasures of Anor Londo, presented to Artorias for facing the abyss. Effectively deflects the dark of the abyss, especially in its magic form. Now, I can probably show you off what that means derp, with these guys. There, it's reflected off. And it's only a very short time that it is actually active, but it can save your hide pretty effectively, as you can imagine. Now, to go and use that for these specific ones is perhaps a little overkill, though it can obviously be quite handy. But for the boss fight with Manus, I will already spoil. This silver pendant is invaluable. Dang it, there are two of them. Maniacal. But luckily this one was baited out. Green Titanite shard. Ah, dang it. There you go. It does show off very nicely how this can be a quite useful item all around. Those chests have already been plundered, but here we get Dark Orb. Dark Souls 1 Dark Orb is not as much unlike the other spells and magic you use. But in Dark Souls 2, dark magic has actually taken on its own form. It is no longer just a sorcery, it is actually its own thing. And I would argue that it is quite neatly implemented there. It really gives incentive to invest in both faith and intelligence, because it scales off of both of them. The harmony between faith and intelligence. This is a scripted one as well, and I believe that she actually is in general not going to be hostile in any way, as you can see. Oh dear! Oops! But you get I'm sorry carving from her, and again these are used like a consumable item. and they are usually meant purely for interaction with other people, because this is what it does.
I'm sorry.
Kinda nifty, isn't it? Certainly a little quirky item that actually is a bit more playful than you would expect to find in a game like Dark Souls, but nonetheless, it's kind of nice. It's a bit like the gesture menu. So, what else was there? I believe we exploited this little area, and to move on, we simply go here. Oh, right. This little thingy over here, Soul of a Brave Warrior, and then you can simply roll back on top of here and continue. So I would advise to go and explore that little bit there, specifically for the silver pendant. But if you're skilled enough, you can also dodge most of the magic, but it is quite hard to do so. I would say harder than what other magics used and seen in this game. So be aware of that. And this is a mimic. Be wary of chest. Yeah, that kind of explains it, isn't it? There we go. And he gives us the very good carving. So, the very good carving does again exactly what you would expect.
Very good.
I have no idea who voice acted that, but it is absolutely... it is really silly the way they have done that, the way that they articulate those words. Now, this is one of the more annoying places in the game, I would argue. And where I would definitely suggest that you draw them out before getting in too deep. Because otherwise you would have to deal with that sorceress over there. Before crossing, or whilst fighting those other guys. That obviously isn't quite all that pleasant. There we go. Taken care of. You can already see the path ahead a little bit. And in fact, that over there is where we need to go. But to get there, oh thanks, is quite a little distance. Oh, there you can see the stronger variants, their eyes actually glow up in the dark. Oh, even more. F8 Estus Plus now. Area is badly affected by the corruption, by the abyss. Alright, taken out. And up there, where that guy is standing, we need to go in order to open that door that I showed you before. Another rubbish. And, well, I guess this counts as a trap, but it really is quite laughable. What is not laughable is the stuff that is down here. I really do not find that amusing at all. This is one of my most... I just really don't feel comfortable going through this little bit. Because there are many enemies here. A few casters. And... the fact is, up there, you can see her already if you look carefully. She's waiting for us to approach. So basically you have casters from the back, melee units from the back, melee units from the front, caster in the front. Yeah. It is pretty well a shitstorm, I would say. So I'm gonna try. Oh dear! No, poisoned as well. One hit poison. Alright. But at least we can. Nobody's coming? Good, 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 good. Scroll over quickly to Purple Moss Clump. There we go. And the sorceress, they do respawn, so be prepared. Oh, she dropped down. That is something that occasionally happens when she's trying to follow your movements. They fall down off that ledge that they're standing on. Which I am very glad about, because that actually makes it a bit easier for us. Perhaps... just perhaps... I can take her out with a lightning spear. But I don't know that. At least one of those melee guys, again, running up. There we go. They do track a little bit. Oops, that wasn't what I wanted to do. But doesn't matter, those two guys are baited. So we don't have a heal spell anymore. I'm not happy about that. So we're forced down to using Estus now. How much does this against you? Oh, you managed to dodge? It doesn't even kill them outright yet. Almost does. With the Great Lightning Spear you would easily have it. Or with... if you have a bit more faith than I have right now. But... there's something positive as well about this whole... area. If you do it right, you only have to pass through it once. So... that is definitely a big relief. So if you really hate this area, as much as I do, don't worry too much. Just keep your cool, do it once properly, and you'll never have to see it again. Now, how did this go again? Oh right, you need to actually roll over. A bit sketchy, but that's alright. And here's a mimic, as you can see. Four heavy strikes and he's done. And he drops the crest key. And another one lurking around the corner, being a douche in general. That's no problem. I already knew he was there. Always check your corners in this area. It's so cringeworthy. It really makes it's so unpleasant. It's so douchey the way they just keep doing that. They keep pulling that same trick over and over. And I believe you don't want to fall down on that roof, even though you can. At least not yet. You can always try later, but just be sure that you manage to link the bonfire, because we're not actually going to find any new bonfires, we're going to link it up, so to speak. Just use the stairway here. Alright. Oh, and be warned, when you climb up, there is a small chance that one of those guys will attack you from behind. At least so I've read and seen. Not experienced yet, luckily. But yeah. Oh, and we could have actually cut down that rope, but... you know what? Maybe we don't have to, because... no, that's bolts. Because we still have a bow, I believe. Yes, doesn't need to be anything fancy, just a bow in general. And then... carefully aim. There you go. So if you don't make it to the rope or anything like that, don't worry, just shoot something at it. Where was... I already passed it, didn't I? I'm already such a doof with those menus. Dark Fog. Dark Fog was, I believe, used to poison people, or at least deal heavy damage over time. Alright. So instead of going forward to that direction, you instead want to go into this building over here. So you walk over from here and take a right. And that will mean that you can activate the elevator here. And that will bring you back. Not all the way, but quite far nonetheless. In the area of the bonfire after Artorias. So once you have activated that elevator, you can just go back here, you can just rest, and that will be your bonfire until you penetrate deeper into the abyss. So we can level up again. I'll do another one on vitality. I guess I want to go up to 20 or about. I'm still not sure if those things still count in Dark Souls 1 as they count in Dark Souls 2. But in Dark Souls 2 it's the case that when you pass level 20 with anything, it starts to become less valuable, and when you pass level 40 it starts to become less valuable. And I know that you guys are probably quite eager to see what goes on deeper in Ulasil. But I know how things would wind down if we try and progress further right now. The boss fight is absolutely terrible. I really hate that boss fight. I believe I've only beaten it by myself once, and that was when I had a significantly powerful shield. Which I don't have now. I mean, it's a proper shield, but it's no great shield. So instead I will be going somewhere else first, with hopes that I can level up and get a bit more souls, get a bit more levels, perhaps find some nice items. And to get there we need to go... Well, we could either go Chamber of Princess, yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter. We go to the Chamber of the Princess. And I mentioned before about where I'm going now. It is actually one of my favorite areas in the game, and many people agree on that. Gosh darn it again. That it is actually one of the best fleshed out areas in the entire game. And from what I heard, it also is the area that that demo for Dark Souls was made for. So if you played the demo of Dark Souls, you will probably know this area already. And it is very nice. I really enjoy that area. Especially because there is, as many agree at least, there is the easiest way to farm for souls over there. And that would definitely be a great asset when moving on in the game. If you ever have trouble in the game, if you ever feel like you're truly struggling with things, just take your time, just do a little bit of grinding, just, I don't know, if you have two monitors it's easy for you, you just watch a YouTube video while you're mindlessly grinding for a bit. Or just bear through it. But eventually, you will get enough souls and enough levels, and you will be able to upgrade your equipment to the highest tier. And that will make your life so much easier. That truly, Dark Souls isn't a hard game in that respect, because you decide yourself how hard the game will be. Simply by deciding, oh, am I going to be reckless and run in, and you can decide that by saying, oh, I'm going to take my time and level up a bit before I move on. You can also... It basically is not a matter of the game itself being all that hard. It is just a matter... I can't pick it up. I really can't pick it up. It's just a matter of taking your time. If you have trouble, just sit back, relax, do a little bit of mindless grinding. perhaps pick an enemy that you know is a bit of a challenge. I mean, that's what I did the first time I felt I needed to grind. I started to grind the Silver Knights here in Anor Londo, which actually is a valid point to grind. It is somewhat effective, but it is not nearly as effective as the area that we will move on to for grinding. Even so, that allowed me to more properly learn how to counteract, oh dang it, enemy movement and such. And in general, it made me able to parry them, making it much easier to deal with them. Because if you can parry an enemy, you can almost just guarantee you will beat him. Doesn't matter what kind of enemy it is. I mean, even if it's an enemy player, if you manage to understand, to comprehend their movements, if you can actually keep up and everything, if you manage to just parry them consistently, there is not a lot of chance that the opponent will win. It's been a way that I've been beaten a few times. Most people try to just wear you down though and just fight you toe to toe, but some truly are that experienced that they will be able to predict your movements simply from the ticks that appear when you try to swing a weapon. When I swing my my halberd or my scythe, for example, you see that he pulls back his scythe before he manages to do the swing. And if you can respond correctly to that, you can easily parry that scythe. Same with the Uchi. Even that one has a small build-up time, smaller than the swing from the scythe, but it still has a significant tell that it is going to strike. Especially the strong attack, it gives you almost well over half a second of reaction time. And I don't know if any of you ever played those reaction games online to test your reaction speed or such, but it is not uncommon for humans to have a reaction speed for pressing a button in about 0.2 seconds. So it is very plausible that you can learn to parry your opponent players. It isn't that complicated, it's just a matter of practice and learning, as it is with most things in Dark Souls. Dang it. Don't do that. When we first got here, they actually did reasonable damage against us, but it really doesn't matter all that much anymore. They're quite weak now, even if we get hit, which is admittedly quite sloppy. It really isn't all that much of an issue. But here the item that I mentioned before comes into play, and basically I cock-blocked everyone when I got here the first time and was like, nope, I'm not going in there yet, I'm not doing this yet. But I'm doing it now. I'm doing it now. The Great Painting. And this will only happen if you have the Peculiar Doll, mind you. Yep. You are sucked into a painting. The Painted World of Ariamis. And that is because of that Peculiar Doll. Which I don't know actually where it is. Oh wait, it's probably a key item actually. Yeah, here. Strange doll with a strange dress. There once was an abomination who had no place in this world. She clutched this doll tightly and eventually was drawn into a cold and lonely painted world. Indeed. And although I am uncertain about it, it is quite probable that it speaks of the boss of this area, whom is actually optional rather than something you have to do. in both respects that she is not essential to be defeated for progression in the story, as well as that she is in general one you can completely voluntarily decide, no, I'm not going to kill you. I'm just not going to. You're standing right in front of me, but I'm not going to kill you. So, and this is as well one of the reasons, I almost forgot, one of the reasons why I have a fire weapon. Because you didn't think I would have a fire weapon just for grinding, did you? I will be honest here, I did actually not even think about this area when I made that fire weapon. I just thought it was a cool sword and would be useful for grinding. But Quelaag's Fury Sword is very, very welcome in this area. It's a bit laggy. Ooh, it's a bit laggy. And it was pretty sloppy because you can easily draw them out without trouble. But these guys, oh dear, these guys are the reason why you want to have a fire weapon. Because I'll show you what happens when you kill them normal. They explode in a pool of blood. Now, luckily we had the range, but if you stand too close, you will get poisoned from them. And using a fire weapon negates that effect. So be sure to use fire weapons against these bloating monstrosities. And in general, Quelaag's Fury Sword should be more than adequate throughout most of this area at least. Now, be careful with these rats. These are white rats, not the normal grey, black rat thingies. And I believe they can actually curse you or toxic you. I'm not sure which of the two it was, but either way, they have some nasty, nasty things they can do. Still drop humanity. But be careful with them. They are a bit more dangerous than your average rat. Quite significantly so. Now, depending on how well this all goes, I might be able to run through this area quite quickly. Because it isn't all that big of an area. It is a side area. It is clearly something that is not required in any way. But it has some very nice things you probably want to pick up. Along with, obviously, as I said, the perfect way to grind for souls. Well, almost perfect. Come on, buddy. Not enough? Another one then? There you go. Even lightning attacks makes them explode like that. So a fire weapon is truly the only way. You can use pyromancies, I reckon, as well, but yeah. Basically that means that if you use combustion against them, being roughly a melee attack, then it won't matter. Now this one is a bit funny, because you can already see it's a bit reminiscent. Oh, hello. Just run away, run away, run away, run away. Big menacing beast he is. But truly, in the way that you fight him, he is even easier than the first time you ever encounter one of these drakes, which is probably in the Valley of Drakes. Because he is very slow. I mean, you can just run around. Actually, he does it even to the side right now. You can just go and strike his claw. No problem. Run over to here again. We'll do a frontal attack again. Run over here. Strike a toad there. And you can just keep running back and forth like that for quite a bit. Here we especially get a nice opening when he simply strikes the middle ground when I already moved on. And he's so slow. And his attack really isn't all that intimidating. Oh, he does the middle one. I was just had to make sure for a moment. So just keep switching area. It is really just a lazy dragon. Oh dear. There you can see a little bit of damage, and he does cause toxic. But obviously, toxic or no, you will barely get hit at all. So, okay, just kill him. Get 5,000 souls from him, and a dragon scale. I always felt that it was a little bit strange what lies beyond here. Because basically that's just mass, it seems. His entire hind section that is just pulled off. But then keep in mind, it is often said about these dragons, these undead dragons, that they are the ones that were afflicted by the miasma of Nito. That this is basically what they become after being torn asunder by that poison. That is quite an interesting thing to think about, really. Danger zone. It's really not that bad here. But there is a likelihood that enemies will drop down. Blocked by some contraption. Because there are sort of bird creatures here. Can pass through the fog, it's really not all that dangerous. But you will meet your new grind friends. These guys over here. They aren't all that dangerous, but you have to keep moving and you have to keep trying to stick behind them. Their shields will deflect your strike. And since the way they are set up, they are quite likely that they will. Their attacks are quite powerful. They can throw the spears, they can stab you. But as you can see, with a scythe, just maneuvering properly, that's an easy 7,000 souls. That's really no effort at all. And I'm not sure, but could we open the gate just like that? Yep, we can open the gate just like that. And that brings us back to our bonfire. We can level up again. Here we go. So this shows off nicely how this can be an easy grind. In fact, if you do it right, and I haven't gotten any miracles yet that I can use on my scythe, but if you have something that you can imbue your weapon with, you can even get overkill damage on them, and that means that you get 600 souls per kill rather than 500. So instead of 700 souls, you would get I'm bad at math. About 9,000 souls or something like that, simply from grinding them for a moment. Just one sweep, and there you go. 7,000 souls, just like that. And again, if you do overkill, you can get over 9,000. Or no, 12. It's 820 then, right? No, no, that's not right. 8,200. That's what I was looking for. 8,200, right? No, because it has to be 14 of them. So it's 8,600 then, or 8,400. No, 8,400. Ah, it doesn't matter. I'm bad at math, it's late at night, don't judge me. Nah, that's not right, you can judge me all you like. Just don't mind if I don't care too much about your criticism there. I mean, if it means that you're gonna unsubscribe, then maybe, just maybe, but I'm probably not going to care all too much. I'm just gonna show off. Well, actually, I probably shouldn't keep grinding like this, at least not on while recording. So I'll do one last grind. And then I'll save the completion of this area for the next time. But yeah, as you can understand, for grinding these ones appropriately, you probably do want something that has a nice ranged attack like that. Something that has a nice area attack that covers them all at the same time. Makes your life a lot easier, I reckon. So there you go. Again, we can level up, and there we go. Our vitality up to level 20. And we almost have 1000 HP now, which is definitely a lot nicer than the 600 that we started off with. Though, mind you, if you actually are that good at Dark Souls, don't worry too much about vitality. If you manage to dodge and avoid all the enemy strikes, heck, you could just go without armor. Because basically if you don't get, obviously, if you don't get hit, it doesn't even matter. But yeah. Anyway, it's been an hour again. We're in the painted world of Artorias. We'll complete that one for the next episode for sure. And I've been Spirit Balance Holder. Wish you all a very, very nice day.